Hello, I'll be going over how to connect ePMX to QuickBooks Desktop today, as well as pushing data from QuickBooks into ePMX and then bridging an invoice from ePMX over to QuickBooks. So, first things first, we want to start by going to our corporation file in ePMX. Pull up the right corporation, we'll go with this one, go to Modify. We'll want to go to AP Info tab. We'll want the AP system to be QuickBooks, and then we'll want the AP version to be Web Connector. Make sure you have this check marked, and then the QuickBooks company name, you need to make sure matches the company name in QuickBooks. So Bellwether Software LLC is our company name in QuickBooks, so that's what we have here, as well as the corporation name here. So we can go ahead and save that. Now, besides that, you also need to go to Control Files, Master Files, Control Files. Go down to third-party ERP. Right here, we'll also want to make sure that QuickBooks is selected and a version is Web Connector. Go ahead and save that. You don't need to worry about the rest of this here. Okay, so now we have that done. I want to go back to the home page. At this point, you can go ahead and pull up the QuickBooks Help page. So QuickBooks Web Connector establish ePMX connection. Go ahead and open that. I already have this open over here. So from here, you can go ahead and follow these steps if you would like. It's going to pretty much cover the exact same thing that this video will cover, at least for connecting it. But you can go ahead and just skip to step 15 here, and you'll want to copy the URL here, utilities/generate QuickBooks Web Connector file. So then we'll go back to the ePMX homepage. We'll go ahead and want to replace the admin portion of the URL, and then press enter. So here, you're going to select the user that's going to be using the QuickBooks Web Connector and bridging invoices from ePMX to QuickBooks. So we'll go ahead and select Jeannie, because that's the person we're using, or the profile we're using. So select Jeannie, and then we can go ahead and generate the Web Connector file, and then it'll have you select which user to download the file for. So we just did Jeannie, so we go ahead and download that. So I've already downloaded it a couple times here, but now that you have that done, you can go ahead and click on that. It'll automatically open up the Web Connector. It may give you a warning if you already have the application connected. If not, then you go ahead and just continue. But I already have it here. We'll go ahead and just replace the existing one. So go ahead and yes. You want to hit yes here. And then it has replaced it. So now I want to select it. The password you'll be using for this connection will be the same password that you use for ePMX. So let me type in my password. Then you go ahead and hit update selected. Processing complete. So you are now connected. So now we go back over to QuickBooks. The minimum requirement for bridging a invoice from from ePMX to QuickBooks is a GL account and a vendor, both of which will be pushing from QuickBooks to ePMX. So right here, we'll check our chart of accounts. This is our chart of accounts for QuickBooks. So we'll be pushing all of these over to ePMX. And then we have our vendors. These will also be the vendors that we will be pushing over to ePMX. We can go ahead and create a new vendor if you want. Just make sure you fill in the company name and vendor name, and then whatever other info you'd like. We're going to go ahead and just use the one I already created called Bell Office. Okay, so now we have that. So then we go back to ePMX. What you'll want to do first is to go to Utilities and go to Push. So from here, we'll select our corporation, which is connected to QuickBooks, which is the LLC. Is the only one connected to QuickBooks Desktop. So we'll go ahead and we're going to want to push. You can go ahead and push everything here. It'll push everything, and if you don't have that information, it won't push it. But we're going to go ahead and just select GL accounts and vendors because that's all we want to push right now. So we go ahead and click Save. Once that is done and saved, then you can pull up the QuickBooks Web Connector again, and then we'll go ahead and update selected. So processing complete. That has now pushed the data from QuickBooks to ePMX. So let's go to invoices. Let's go ahead and create an invoice. Voucher number 14. The vendor we'll be using is Bell Office, which was pushed over from QuickBooks to ePMX. So we'll select that one. Please note that you have to select the vendors that were pushed from QuickBooks Desktop to ePMX in order for the bridge to succeed. You need to be using the vendors and the GL accounts that are pushed from QuickBooks. So we'll go ahead and create an invoice number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Choose invoice date. Let's go with today. Now you can fill out all this other info. One thing to note is that you'll want to set a net date. And you can set any other date you want. Say that, and we'll go to tax percent 3%. Let's go with term. We'll leave the term field blank. That is one of the fields you can import from QuickBooks via the push. So, alright. So let's go ahead and add an item. Let's go with paper. We'll go with 100 packs of paper, and we'll say this is $600. So now, now you need to select a GL account, and these are the GL accounts that are pushed from QuickBooks, or at least most of them. Some of these may have been created in ePMX itself, but like I said earlier, you need to select a GL account that is used and pushed from QuickBooks. So we're going to go ahead and use the utilities account here. So if we go ahead and pull this back up and go to our home, chart of accounts, we can check that utilities is right here. Okay. So now we have a GL account selected. Again, you can keep adding more lines. Let's go ahead and add a second line. Let's get some light bulbs. Let's say this is $50. Select GL account again. Please note that each line does need to have a GL account if you wish that if you want that line to push over, or if you want that line to bridge over to QuickBooks successfully. So now we'll go ahead and save this. Okay, invoice has been created. Now we can go to the invoice bridge. We'll want to process, make sure the right corporation is selected here. Then we'll want to select the voucher. Let's go, voucher number 14 was the one we just created, and we'll want to run. So now that's processed, one voucher processed. We can go ahead and pull up our web connector again, and then hit the update selected, making sure the application is selected. Update selected. Process this, processing complete. So now if we go back to QuickBooks here, and let's go to the vendors. So pull up Bell Office here. We pushed, or we bridged over this bill right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Date today. Go ahead and open up the bill. You can see our lines are here. This other info is here. Bill due date is the net date in ePMX. So that is why we set a net date. Please note that you do need to have the bill due date, which is the net date in ePMX. So let me pull that up again real quick here. So net date is a field that needs to be filled out if you want to be successfully pushed over to QuickBooks, along with the GL account and the vendor. So now we go back over to QuickBooks. Here's our bill. We can check everything here, save and close, and do what you normally do with the bill here. So that is how you connect ePMX to QuickBooks Desktop, push the data from QuickBooks over to ePMX, as well as creating an invoice in ePMX and bridging the invoice over to QuickBooks. Thank you.